Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it is Monday, and the markets have reversed higher. At least initially, they reversed higher. But what happened is they reversed higher, and then they took a little bit of a dive, which it's always fun. Tough market to trade, in general, but they did take a little bit of a dive. And, just getting right into it, show you kind of what I have currently. I did take a position in AEHR. I did close it early though, but I did move into the market a little bit today. I have three stocks that basically that I did buy today long, and so you can see those. Here we are on TikTok. UPRO, now I have a very, very tight stop loss set on this one, 33.85. So if it goes down a little bit more, it'll be out. It's just basically, right at that. Then I went into Cadence Design. It seems like there's some strength in the semis. It was up significantly today on heavier volume, up about 3.92%. And then Lattice Semiconductor, LSCC, that was up on weaker volume, but it was up pretty significantly. So kind of interesting, charts out there. Wanted to take a look at also AEHR just real quick. Let's go take a look at that chart, and I am moving it over to, there we go. All right, so let's take a look at Lattice. Well, let's take first of all a look at not cooperating here. There we go. Okay, let's get to the charts. All right. Okay, let me move that around a little bit and show you. I want to show you first of all AEHR. This is one I did own today, just shortly. I day traded this one. Oh, come on, AEHR. Let's go. AEHR. Let's take a look at it. There we go. AEHR. There we go. This is a semiconductor stock, semiconductor equipment. That's sort of how this one lays out. It gap it this is the second real day that it's been moving. It did move on Friday, and then they had superb earnings. Their earnings are up 220%. So it does look like, there is some green shoots happening here in the market now. I got a little bit concerned as it went up. I just what I did is I kept pushing my stop loss up, and I was taken out of this one, but I think that we could get another entry tomorrow, depending on where it goes. I suspect there's going to be a pullback. There's going to be a pullback on this. If there's a pullback and a bounce, I will probably buy on that pullback because I do think this is very, very strong. But again, I don't hold this right now. I wrote it up, I sold it, and then I'm waiting essentially for another opportunity here with this one. But interesting stock. Let's look at the checklist here. It's 89% checklist here, and they're just pretty much hitting on all cylinders. Now, the interesting thing about this is it does seem that there is a lot of interest in the semiconductor area. So 99 relative strength above the 200-day line, very, very strong. Very, very strong accumulation, it looks like here. I want to look at how many funds are in this one. When I bought it, I didn't actually look at it. Not that many funds, 67 funds, but and it's a relatively thin stock. So that's part of the reason when I started seeing it pull back, I sold it because, when it's a thin stock like this, you've got to be super careful. Today, the volume, it was up almost 16% on this today with a volume up about 182. Also want to show you another semiconductor stock that I did buy today, and that is Lattice Semiconductor, LSCC, and that one you might want to take a look at as well. That one I still am owning. I did go into this one today. It moved up very, very nicely. The only thing about Lattice that I'm a little concerned with is not as much volume as I would like. But, as it came through this reversal line, that's where I did buy it off of off of that 21-day line. Now, I didn't quite get, a little bit close on that 21-day line, but as you'll notice, it's still buyable. It's within 5% of the 21-day line. So you might want to take a look at this one. It's Lattice Semiconductor, LSCC. And it does seem like there's been a movement into some of the semis. So, who knows exactly what's going to happen there, but it does look like there's movement into the semis. Now, I want to show you a third stock that I did buy today that was in the semiconductors, related to the semiconductors, not in the semiconductors, and that's Cadence Design. Cadence Design is a relative. It's an older company, but it's very critical in Silicon Valley in that it produces the software that creates the actual chips. I mean, not the software that actually creates the design of the chips. So this one is CNDS. There was a lot of buying of this one today. No, CDNS, excuse me. CDNS. There we go. Cadence Design. There we go. So we can see it now. So let's take a look at the action on Cadence here. All right, Cadence Design. So really, this has been kind of one of the first days. I closed all my shorts on Friday. This one moved above the 200-day line right there, and as you can see, it moved very nicely. This one, very nice, up about almost 4% with strong volume above the 200-day line. So we'll see if this one is reverses higher. Doesn't really done anything after hours, but it seems like there's some strong buying going on in this one. On the checklist, very good checklist, 89. You want to see that. On the technicals, we're very close again to that 21-day line, the 21-day line, 161. 80. So we're just above that 21-day line. When you're buying in these kind of markets, you don't want to buy extended, and that can be very, very difficult. So one of the ways that I do that is I look for where that 21-day line is, and then I buy within 5% of that 21-day line. So that's kind of what's taken place there. So give you kind of a look. See again, these are the ones that I'm holding currently. I'm also holding the U Pro. This is basically an index, and I want to show you that one just real quick. That's not a semiconductor stock. That's an ETF that covers um, the 2x of the S&P. Now, the S&P was not one of the better indexes today. It really was the Nasdaq, surprisingly, that was the best of the three major indexes today in this uptrend. Let me see if I can grab this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here we go. So typically what I do with the U Pro is when there's a change in the direction of the overall market, which happened today, we went to from a we went from a correction to a confirmed uptrend. When that happens, I typically will buy a position in the U Pro because that typically tends to mirror the market. Now, I have my stop loss set very, very tight here, and it probably will trip tomorrow at 33.85. Basically just barely in there. We'll see if it moves higher. It moved up on Friday all the way to the 21-day line, and then today it moved up to the 50-day line, but then it was rejected. So it's right on the 21-day line. Um, with this one, I just like to get when the market direction changes, and I definitely think we have had a little bit of a change here. I like to get exposure to the market. On Friday, I had no exposure to the market, so hopefully this will start to make its way up tomorrow. We'll see. Again, this is what I do with the U Pro is I typically will buy at a full position whenever the market changes direction, and we definitely had a change in direction today. So. All right. Thank you very much for that. Let's get to some of the questions. All right. Troy, thank you very much. Hey, Troy. Um, there's prediction that oil will go to 140 once China opens more. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. There's an issue with oil I mean, that's sort of the Achilles heel right now of China is that they have tremendous demand for oil and most of that, of course, is not coming. It's coming from the Middle East. I think there's a likelihood that that will happen. It just depends on how. Um, it just depends on how much it goes. So let's take a quick look at. Let's just look at the price of oil here. I just want to look at the chart. Just going to go directly to the oil chart. Hold on. 0W. Yeah, this is the crude. This is crude oil here. Let's put it up on the screen for everyone to see. All right. So this is crude oil. As you can see, we've been in this downward trend with crude oil, and I definitely think we may have bottomed. I agree with you, Troy, on this. We may have bottomed on on this one. We may have bottomed on the oil price. We did come down. We tested here. So currently, we're at 73.67 on the barrel of crude. We did go up today, so it does look like we're below we're below all the indexes. So yeah, we could have seen a bottom here. Now, 140 would. I don't think we're going to go all the way to 140 because in order to do that, we would have to take out the high from March of last year of 2022. So I think that we are likely to see it form this cup up to about 123. I think that could be very likely, but we still haven't changed. We still haven't we still haven't changed direction yet. If you look at this is the reversal line. So let's put that in there. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and settle. Well, it won't let me set the alert because it's not a stock symbol. But basically, what's happening here is that this is the reversal line. We came right up to the reversal line. We punched through it, and then we pulled down again, and then we've made another attempt. So it's probably going to make another attempt at moving through the reversal line. That'll be about 79, 78, 79 on that on the price of oil. But I definitely think it is going up. But I do think we'll probably max out uh, probably at 123. More than likely on the technicals, I think we're going to see about $97 a barrel oil. I think that's kind of what we're going to look at. So that's kind of my take on that. So thanks, Troy. Appreciate that. Lisa, thank you. Um, my friend, you bought only the semiconductor, no diversity. That's true. That's true. I only bought the semiconductor sector today. Uh, there's not a lot of diversity in that. Um, but one of the things is I do think that we are going to see that just the reason I was buying primarily in the semis is because that's where I see the strength. That's where I see the strength in the market. Let me see if I can jump over to the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index to show you that. That's also probably a good one to buy as well. But let's see, that's the SPX. Is that right? ProShare is the energy. Huh. I don't remember what that one is. Okay. But yeah, I did primarily buy in the semis today. Typically not, not good, but I'm so lightly exposed. I mean, literally on Friday, I had no exposure to the market. I was completely in cash, and I closed all my shorts. But you're right, there is no diversity in that at all. The only thing I had that was different was the UPRO. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right on that. All right, Jim. A spy flew from LA to Seattle. Um, and went back to LA round trip. You were correct on that too. I thought we were going to get much more of a bounce. That's what happens with this market. The market faded at the end of the day. We had a nice movement on the spider. We were back almost exactly where we started. We're right about 34 on the we're right about 34 on the U Pro. It's kind of amazing. But let's the U Pro is the 2x the 2x of the spider. So let's look at the spider here. Let me see if I can put that back into play. Here we go. Let's analyze the spider here. Oops, come on there. Spider. Okay, there we go. All right, so here's the spider. You're absolutely right. We came up when we came down. Boy, I tell you, it was quick too. We'll notice this. It came up. Let's look at the 10-minute chart here for the. This is for the spider. Yeah, I mean, we opened here, made a nice run all the way up almost to 393, and then boom, all the way back down, all the way back down. That's one of the reasons I did put my stop loss on the U Pro, which is the 2x of the spider, right at 33.94. So let's look at the let's look at the U Pro and see if it's similar. I typically, when the market changes, I typically like to put on the U Pro because, yeah, same, absolutely the same thing. We come out of the box, we move up, and then we move down. So this is the U Pro, which is the 2x of the spider or the S&P 500. Same exact chart pattern, just a little bit different in terms of that. I have my currently on the U Pro, I have my stop loss basically right here. So if it doesn't bounce, I'll be out of it tomorrow. So basically with back to no exposure. So yeah. So you're right about sector diversity. All right, let's look at LNG. LNG is a company called Cheniere, and they are big in the Cheniere is big in the liquefied natural gas. Let's put them up here. This LNG, this has been benefiting obviously from the higher prices in Europe. Now, interestingly enough, this has been a very warm winter in um, this has been a very warm winter in Europe, so it hasn't been as dire a situation. So interestingly enough, this is pulled down and it's pulled below the 200-day moving average. Now, it is seem to be getting some support right here. As you can see, there's sort of railroad tracks happening here. This is not reversed yet. It's still in a downward trend, but it potentially can reverse higher. We just have to see. Now, let's take a look. We have high volume on this, abnormally high volume, but as you can see, there's been a lot of buying of it, but it's starting to come down. So I definitely think we may be running out of sellers on Cheniere. So watch for this one to move higher. Now, would I buy at this level? I kind of think I would wait until it moves above that 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average currently for Cheniere is 151.30. So here's what you could do. See if it closes above this 200-day line. If it does, that will be a reversal, and then you can start buying it. But I would not buy it now. Put it on your watch list. So you know, for LNG, I definitely think it's worth looking at. But put LNG on your watch list and wait for close above 151. And the reason for this, well, the reason the the reason for this is with this chart, the reason you want to wait for that close above 151 is because that is where the 200-day line is, and that will show a reversal. We want to buy as the stock reverses higher. That's just the best way we can go on that. So we definitely want to wait until the stock reverses higher. in order to buy, but definitely worth it. I'm not gone back into the oils the or the oils or the natural gases. Why? Because I do think that we're going to see this time a rotation. I think that rotation is going to be in the semiconductors. Uh, that's just the way I'm looking at the charts. I think we're going to see a rotation the the semiconductors. Had to switch and went bullish on Visa 5-1. Interesting. Okay, let's look at Visa. Um, this one was. Let's see if I can get the chart up. Hold on. All right, let's look at Visa. There we go. Now here's Visa. Yeah, you're definitely smart to go bullish on it because it definitely is moved to a higher high. It did pull back a little bit, did get a little bit of resistance at about 218, but this is a cup. It's coming up, so yeah, this is showing strength. Um, on the technicals, we're right at the 21-day line. I probably would not buy it here because I just think it's a little extended. I definitely think it's a little extended. I think it's going to pull back, but wait for it possibly to pull back to about the 217 level. So we're real close and see what would happen there. Look at the weekly chart here. Yeah, we're still in an overall downward trend on Visa, but the profits have been good. I mean, if we look at the stock, it's up and definitely up last quarter. So Visa, it's still in a downward trend. So hopefully it can make a movement above this line. I'm gonna go over here to the weekly. There we go, and it moves up. So interesting. So yeah, I mean, I think we may be, you may be right about being bullish on Visa. All right, let's next question. Do you think financial sector is going to hold up during earnings? Well, I do think that the financial sector is going to have issues when it comes to earnings, and part of the reason I think it's going to have issues is because I think there's going to be a lot of defaults. I mean, the economy is still very, very weak, and even though the interest rates are higher, they're going to book a lot of revenues, but there's going to be a lot of people that will default on their credit cards. I mean, I think that's definitely coming. Credit card use is at all-time high, and we don't haven't had the income growth, so I do think that we're going to see I think there's going to be some issues in the financial sector. I think one of the big four banks is going to merge. The big four banks, of course, are J.P. Morgan, uh, J.P. Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and why can't I remember this? But I think a Bank of America is one of the weaker ones. I want to look at B of A really quickly. Um, there's a lot of weakness in the mortgage market, of course, as you know, mainly due to the higher interest rates. Let's see. Oh, EAC. There we go. This is Bank of America. Bank of America has been in a downward trend, and it's pulled up to the 200-day line, but it's still pretty weak. So I think that there's going to be, I don't know, I think the financial sector is going to have issues. I definitely think that a lot of people are going to liquidate. A lot of the funds are going to liquidate their holdings there. So just my opinion. All right, thoughts on Tesla? Tesla moved up tremendously today. This is for um, TikTok. Let's take a look. TSLA, and let's look. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Oops. If I can get that back. Hold on. There we go. So this is Tesla. Let's look at the daily chart. And boy, look at that. It did move above that 50-day line. I want to go to the 10-minute chart to see how it traded. Yeah, it gapped up on open. And I haven't been actively trading, and then it then it came down to 150. I think it's a dead cat bounce. I still think it's probably going lower. But they did have good numbers, so I think they're going lower. I think it's definitely going lower. All right. Well, I haven't given you much today, but it's kind of going to be a short day for me today because I've got to get out of here. But everybody, I'll be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I was a little bit late in today, so I've moved primarily to the semiconductor stocks. We'll see how they do. But if you want to get updates, just go and give me a like give me a like here. Just smash that like button, and also, if you could, sign up for Dallas Trading Floor at www.Dallas Trading Floor. I'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Thanks. The market did move to a confirmed uptrend today, so we want to sort of start moving back into the market. And I will see you back here tomorrow at 5. Happy trading.